What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Ham Radio Crash Course. Welcome to Saturday. Hope you had a great week. We're going to be talking about shortwave radio listening today. SWLING. Enjoy the memes as we kick things off here. And again, thanks for taking the time to hop on out. How's it going, everybody? I am Josh, KI6NAZ. Welcome to the Ham Radio Crash Course. Somebody says I've got an echo. How is that? Is the echo better? Is it gone? Hopefully the echo's gone. I'll wait. I'll open a beer while I'm getting ready. We're drinking the Ale Smith, which is a black velvet oatmeal stout. Hopefully the echo's gone. Let's pour it out here into the Ham Radio Crash Course official pint glass. Again, happy Saturday, everybody. Happy Saturday to you, N4EJC. Hope you had a good week. Okay, well, nobody's complaining, so I guess the echo's gone. All right, I hope things are good. Let's see. First stream ever from GRN Poblano. Right on. Yeah, COVID hair no more, everybody. Congratulations, COVID hair is gone. Appreciate the comments on that. Thank you very much. Boy, we got a lot to talk about, but at the same time, we're going to have just a lot of fun. I'm going to do a bit of an intro explaining with some slides on what shortwave listening is, and then we're going to use some radios in an example of kind of how to use them, what they're for. You know, We're taking something that's relatively simple, and we're going to add a level of complexity to it, because at the end of the day, you can just go buy a radio, go outside and listen to it and have a great time. Shortwave listening is really that in a nutshell. So stick around, though. Hopefully I'm going to give you some good information. So right off the top, I do want to say a big thank you to the ARRL. I was awarded the Bill Leonard Award for Professional Journalist or Journalist Video Production is the award that I got. And it really means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it. So thank you, the ARRL, for doing that, and I'm very honored. I'm incredibly honored, so thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, very good. Let's see, what else? Leia, another great... Leia's just killing me with all the stuff she's doing now. She's updated the website, so hamradiocrashcourse.com has a new face to it, and it is wonderful. She's done a great job in integrating all kinds of different stuff, and I want to point people to it specifically because it talks about who we are. We've got some of the admin team here. There's Ethan and Evan and Matt and Chris will probably get on there in a little bit. And also, for those that are curious, it links to our videos, to the podcast, to the Facebook group, to the Discord. It links to the Facebook page and the group. And then for those that are interested in Ham Nation, you've got all the information on when it's scheduled, the videos, the podcast, and we got the podcast working. So the RSS feed is working too. I am so ecstatic. Things are doing great. So thank you, Leia. A wonderful job, as always. And it also takes you to the shop, by the way, Ham Tactical. Oh, that's too early for that. Where's Ham Tactical? There it is. So Ham Tactical, we've got Leia is referencing the QRP shirt. So if you haven't got into the QRP shirts yet, we've got Team QRP. QRP is for heroes, and I have Low Power, which is my favorite one of these. I particularly like that with the 705 there on the side. So appreciate it. Craig, thank you for the super chat. Thumbs up there. Appreciate that, Craig. Love that. Thank you very much. All right. So what are we talking about? Let me go right into it because, like I said, we got a lot to cover and not a lot to do. By the way, there will be a Discord after chat, and we are doing a giveaway on Discord. And, another super chat from Katie9PBQ. Yippee, it's HRCC time. Send some of that global warming to the Midwest. High of, 5 Fahrenheit tomorrow in North Illinois. Congrats on the award. Thank you very much. So we are doing a Discord after chat, and I do have a link pinned in the chat room right now. You can click it. It will take you to the Discord server, which is kind of our primary location for all the communication we do on ham radio. And we're doing a giveaway over there. What's the giveaway? Today is a Eaton Mini, Elite Mini shortwave receiver. It also does medium wave, which is basically AM, and it does FM, not long wave. Oh no, okay, good, AM, FM. And is that working? It is working. There we go. And it's an animated GIF. So what you do is you just click the link to the server, go to the giveaway, hashtag giveaway, click on that, and then on the little right here, that little 448 where the little names popped up, just click on that horn so it's red. If you see the number went up, you're in. You don't even have to stay watching, and you'll be in the contest. If you win, I'll message you, and I'll send it wherever you need me to send it. So I appreciate that. Ben Glendening. All right, thank you for the super chat. What did he say? First live stream, taking my technician test tomorrow. Appreciate all you do, and thanks for helping me get into ham radio. You're welcome, Ben. Oh, not Glenn, Ben. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right, let's throw it over to the slides. Introduction to shortwave radio. And really, shortwave radio, I'll talk a little bit about it in a couple of slides, but it's kind of a worldwide radio information exchange, right? It's everything we're talking about is including broadcast stations that broadcast on different shortwave frequencies. And because we know with HF frequencies, and by the way, HF radio exists in the shortwave portion of the radio spectrum, those waves refract off the ionosphere, and that's what gives you beyond line of sight capability with your radios. So that's how that works. Let me flip it over here. Boop. So what is shortwave radio? Simply put, it's all the frequency space, right? From the top of the medium wave band, same area as broadcast AM, which is about 1.7 megahertz, to the bottom. I left that radio on. The bottom of the very high frequency space, which is about 30 megahertz. Super chat from Oof Radio, Michael Iafredo. Thank you very much, KD9 Oof. Thanks for all the help you've given me this week. RFI sucks. Yeah, we have been hunting RFI like crazy here in the shack as well, and I've knocked it down again. I should talk about that at the end. We probably will. Or we'll definitely talk about it in the after chat, so join us over there. Shortwave radio encompasses the entire frequency space, including many high-frequency amateur radio bands, as I've already mentioned, and shortwave frequencies refract off the ionosphere to achieve beyond line of sight, e.g. world communications. GRN Poblano, thank you very much for the super chat. Hero in 3 weeks, past zero to hero in 3 weeks, past element 2 and 3 today, all because of your channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And Russell Harper, thank you for the super chat. Just passed my technician on Thursday. Thanks for the assist. Congrats on the award. Thank you. And thank the ARRL. I appreciate that. Love the podcast, live stream, and after chat. Thanks again. Thank you. I appreciate you guys all making it out there. Wish you make a video about radio for motorcycles. If I had a motorcycle, I might. But I think that's something I could probably put together. So what is a shortwave radio receiver, right? These are receive-only radios that pick up all the shortwave frequencies. Often more, though. They'll do long wave in some cases and medium wave, which is all the lower side of the frequency space. Not a lot of the high side stuff, although some do that. Shortwave in the past was one major way that people stayed connected to news and world information. There are still shortwave channels that exist that beam their signals into specific countries because they want to get that information there. You can imagine during the Cold War, right? Imagine the propaganda, the information that was being sent back and forth over shortwave. In fact, you could do a deep dive and a historian-level deep dive on the interesting stories of shortwave and the Axis, Allies, powers, and Cold War, all through that time. The interesting stuff they were doing, broadcasting information into places kind of behind enemy lines. That includes all the clandestine radios, which we did a video on back in Halloween of 2020, where we talked about clandestine radios and what they were used for. Number stations will come up here a little bit in this chat, but you kind of get the idea. They're hugely important to a lot of people who don't get relatively good access to the internet or relatively good access to television broadcasts because they live in countries where they're restricted or there's just not good examples of, television programming that's available to them. Now, the internet has changed that a lot, but at the same time, they still exist. And I'll talk to you a little bit about it. In fact, I've got a couple of websites that do a fantastic job of that. So make sure I didn't miss anything. Brian Kirby, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for all the great info. General license, all thanks to your motivation to get back to studying. Thank you. And there's another one. Hey, Eric B., thank you. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats. I appreciate it. Just passed my tech in general last week with your help. Got approval from the boss to step up to a mobile. Appreciate all the info on your channel. Thank you very much. Now, for that reason, shortwave radio is kind of like an everyman's radio hobby, information gathering tool. And there's various levels that you can go through if you're looking to purchase a shortwave radio. They start out very inexpensively. I've actually, that one that I'm giving away, that Eaton, is under $20, and it's okay for shortwave. We'll talk about that. But there's a ton on the market that are relatively inexpensive, like that Texan PL380 that's there on the lower radio on that picture. I think I can point to it. Haha, I can. That's not a bad radio for shortwave, although we'll talk about it in a second. It's lacking some features that you may want. Now, shortwave also is a hobbyist and enthusiast hobby, and oh boy, it can get very expensive, particularly if you're looking at the higher end of shortwave radios. Quite considerably expensive. And again, we'll talk about that as we go forward. So what's one of the dividers for the more expensive radios versus the inexpensive? I'm going to mute this. Speaking of shortwave radios, this is an ICOM IC530, and yowza, it's also kind of expensive, but it does a lot. So single sideband is kind of like the dividing line for a lot of shortwave radios. There are plenty of radios that are cheaper than the single sideband ones, but that's generally in the less than $100 range. When you start going above that point, that's where you pick up access to things like single sideband. And that's what gives you the ability to listen to a lot of amateur radio communications, which is generally what we use when we're transmitting on voice for amateur radio. Case in point, there is the Skywave, C. Crane Skywave, which I've talked about many times on videos. It does single sideband, and it's also about $175. By the way, there's a link in the description to Amazon. It is my affiliate store. I'm an Amazon affiliate, but I have a page just for shortwave listening with the radios I recommend. A radio that's less expensive than the single sideband, the Skywave, and is actually kind of a better performer on shortwave, is the Texan PL660, a fantastic radio if you want a physical radio. I would demonstrate it today, but I actually gave it to my stepdad because he's getting interested in radio receiving, so I just gave it to him. I'm like, here you go. Enjoy the radio. But it's a fantastic radio. Pick one of those up. So what do you listen to? What do you do with shortwave? You've got this receiver that has this wide-banded receive capability. You can go up and down this massive frequency space. What do you listen to? The answer is whatever you possibly can. There's many different things out there. For me, though, it's kind of like hide and seek. I look at listening to shortwave as kind of like an unexplored trail, a road you've never gone down. You're using your radio to kind of listen to different spaces of what's making it to you, either long distance stations or, local stations. It's always interesting to find new things. And really, kind of before the internet, and I'll mention this here because this is kind of like my introduction to radio, is shortwave. I got an AM radio that had a SW. It had a couple of SWs, 1, 2, 3 bands. And the first time I flicked that on, I didn't hear anything. It wasn't later that I learned, if I go outside and I set the radio up and I kind of like get away from it, make sure it's not around anything, I was able to hear some like far off stations, and I'm hearing music that like, where did this come from? This is not the top 40. And it became really interesting when I started learning more about it. And, this is, again, before the internet, that it really started to intrigue me. There was news programs from other countries that I would hear, Australia being one of the big ones, the shortwave station that I kind of grew up listening. And so, yeah, it was like my gateway drug into radio, if you will. So whatever you can, that's what I listen to. And I've included some links here. John, W3JFS, thank you for the super chat. Hi, Josh. Thanks for the great content. I love SWLing, and I'm sure I'll love it even more with the SDR Play RSPDX. Comes in the mail next week. Right on. Thank you very much for the super chat. So a couple of links, and I will post these in the description. And if you're a patron, you will get the slides after this streaming. I post my slides over on Patreon. By the way, guys, big thank you again to the patrons. This episode is a patron picks episode. The first weekend of the new month, the day that I stream, is always a patron picks episode. I let them decide what the topic of discussion will be. And so today, shortwave listening. They voted, and that's what they picked. So we're going to look at these websites in a second when we get just before we start playing with the radios. And these are really cool, particularly Shortwave.am. Go check that out. If you've got on a computer and you've got another tab you can pull open, go check that out. It's pretty interesting. What more can shortwave receivers do? So as I mentioned, they at least include medium wave, broadcast AM. Some have long wave, although that's kind of difficult for some people to get on the receive side, myself included, because I'm on a small lot. Most have broadcast FM. However, there are more feature-rich radios that will include NOAA weather alerts or just listening to the NOAA weather frequencies. Some will include airband, so you can listen to the planes and the ground stations that are, directing traffic. Some have GPS, like that RS-230, the icon there that I have a picture of. And in fact, those are the modes on the high side. This radio knows the difference between VHF, UHF, and also down on the HF side. And it works really, really well for switching different bands and different modes of operation. Let me make sure I didn't screw something up here. Okay, good. Yeah, and you can see that in the image there. It'll do FM, FM narrow, AM, AM narrow, but then it'll do D-Star, it'll decode P25, it will do PMR, and it'll do NXDN. Those are all digital voice modes that we use on the high side frequencies. Now, if you start going down this road, you'll start hearing a term general coverage receiver. So a general coverage receiver is more towards the ham radio side of the house. They're usually bigger desktop units or receivers. That ICOM is the exception, though. That's a handheld general coverage receiver. And those generally go a little bit further. They'll go down to like 1 kilohertz and then all the way up to 30 megahertz as a general statement. Obviously, we know that the 7300 goes higher than that because it covers 6 meters, which is technically a part of the VHF frequency space, not the HF space. But it's still included in a lot of HF radios. So you may be thinking, can't I just use my ham radio? Yes, most ham radios now, most base station ham radios, they'll, as you start cranking the bands, when you go down below or above a ham band, they'll turn the TX off, but they still receive. And in fact, my 7300 is what I do most shortwave listening with nowadays, unless I'm on travel or I'm going out somewhere portable. The ICOM 705, same functionality. That's a fantastic radio for in the field as well. However, you don't need to buy a ICOM 705 to get started with shortwave listening, and it's actually much cheaper to just buy a shortwave radio than going that route. All right, now, software-defined radio. Software-defined radio and the introduction of cheap, inexpensive dongles and devices like the SDR Play RSP1A here have really opened up the accessibility of shortwave. You can buy one of these for $100 or less. The dongles are even cheaper, and you get way more functionality than even one of the little handheld or portable shortwave devices. At least that's my opinion. The SDRs connect you to your computer, basically, and the software on the computer is doing much of the heavy lifting that the discrete components of a handheld radio would normally do. So with an SDR, your only limit is basically the hardware on your computer and the software you run. So you can do decoding of P25 if you're into scanning with a software-defined radio and appropriate software, or you can listen all the way down into the HF bands. The real super advantage of the SDRs, which I will demonstrate live tonight, is that they will do some kind of spectrum waterfall display, which makes hunting around on the bands even easier. Because if you're using a handheld, one of the little portable units, or even just an older desktop general coverage receiver, they generally don't have a waterfall, right? 7300 is the exception in some of the newer radios. So you're literally looking at a frequency readout and just spinning the VFO. Well, with an SDR, you see a big, wide swath of data. And that information, you can click on it, and it'll take you immediately to that frequency. It speeds up the process incredibly. It is a wonderful, wonderful tool that you should have in your arsenal, and it makes shortwave listening a lot of fun. Okay, so more fun things to listen to. So we talked about broadcast stations, broadcast shortwave. I mentioned, and I'll show you the scheduling for different shortwave stations. But keep in mind, going back to what we've talked about in other videos, freqeuncy.org is where you can do number station lookup for when number stations will be active. There's the shortwave radiogram, which is actually a shortwave radio station that transmits digital data or audio over the air that you can decode with your computer and it connected to the radio, or you feed the audio into the computer. And it's actually a combination of a text show with images and radio along with it. So it's a quite an interesting concept. So swradiogram.net will give you the information. They broadcast on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and all the time is in UTC, so make sure you follow that while you're thinking about doing it. I should mention also, everything we're going to be talking about today is in UTC time. Hopefully it'll make sense as you see it when I flip everything over here, but it's important to keep that in mind. If you're not setting yourself to UTC time when you're SWLing, you might want to. And let's see, military radio. Military radio is a lot of fun, and again, here's the links. I'll post some of them in the description, and you can check them out that way. But yeah, there's a ton of military HF radio frequencies that you can listen to when you are shortwave listening. So if you're still not ready to, take the plunge into shortwave listening, no big deal. There's a couple of really great free websites, free services. People are actually lending people access to their equipment to listen to shortwave frequencies. A couple of the main ones in my mind are kiwisdr.com, and it will show you a map. And you can pick on a receiver wherever you want. It could be on the other side of the planet, and you can be listening to radio over on the other side of the planet. There's also websdr.org, which does a similar function. Both are completely free websites. Again, people are donating basically to the internet access to their software-defined radios. And so you don't have to pay for a thing. If you want to try out SDR listening or shortwave listening, you can just use the website and get access to it that way. It's a great way to get started. It's a great way to expose people to radio, introduce them to what it's all about and what you can hear on the air. Super lot of fun. So let's say you go out and buy a radio, portable radio, whatever. What's the first thing you should do? Go outside with it. I appreciate it's a little cold right now, but it will make sense in a second. The shortwave radios, particularly the portable ones, come with a built-in ARRL, and they don't do that well indoors. Particularly if you are indoors and you have a house that has like plaster on lath, or you've got radiant barriers on your roof. Anything metallic is basically going to attenuate the signals coming in. And those weak signals, those are the ones you're trying to pull in. Those are those, other stations on the other side of the planet that you want to pick up as like a DX receive station for shortwave. So go outside. Go outside, set up the radio, get in front of the radio, and have some fun. And generally, that's what you need to consider, is that often if you're having a hard time with shortwave listening, you need to get outside with the radio, or you need to have another solution. And that's where listening from inside your home, well, how do you do that? I will show you what I'm using in a second here. We got plenty of time, good, because we got a lot to cover still. But basically, I use a vertical antenna, and that has a preamp inside my home. I'm using a long wire antenna, and I also use my step IR. Why not? Right? I have the ability to adjust for a frequency that I want to receive, and I do that. I appreciate that's way overkill, but you can use a dipole. You can use a long wire antenna. A end-fed half-wave is a good one. A ZEP antenna is also a good one. But the basic thing that you have to keep in mind is to effectively listen to a faraway station, you generally want your antenna to be 1/4 wavelength of the frequency that you desire to listen to. So there are conversion charts you can look up online if you're determined to try and get down to the 3.6 megahertz or 3.4 megahertz or 3.3 megahertz band for shortwave broadcasts. Then you may need to calculate what length of long wire you need to make that happen. John Sherrill, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, great presentation. I appreciate it. So keep in mind, here's the example. A 20-meter dipole antenna will work, but it will only be effective for listening to frequencies down to 20 meters, 14 megahertz, and up. It may get past that, but it's not necessarily going to be as effective. So you want to size your antenna appropriately for what you're trying to receive. I'll make a second point. If you really get into this, and you're really interested in listening to shortwave stations on the different shortwave bands, you might want to consider making yourself like a fan dipole. And that fan dipole will have multiple elements specifically for those frequencies that you're trying to pick up. You can use the same fan dipole that you have for ham radio will likely be okay for shortwave listening because, again, those bands are not the same frequency bands for the broadcast shortwave listening locations within the frequency space. So keep that in mind. All right, so good info on shortwave listening. Thomas, who he and I have exchanged a couple emails talking about stuff in the past, over at swling.com. He does pretty much the best job in covering shortwave radios and kind of like interesting topics that's going on in and around shortwave listening as a hobby. He has a great blog, which is swling.com/blog, and it's my go-to for radio review information on all kinds of stuff. So big cheers to Thomas. I really appreciate what he does, and keep it up, good buddy. So I'm going to leave the questions on for a second because we're going to flip it over here. I've got a lot of stuff to show, and I kind of want to walk through what I'm using for an antenna setup and how I do shortwave listening. K8MRD with the 762, my favorite number. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Chat there says, what about long wire? I already mentioned it, but I do recommend long wire. All right, so we've got some radios on the bench here. And these are all shortwave radios. These are receivers. Some of them are obviously ham radio, like that 705 there. But what I need to show you, and I want to do this in the best way possible. Normally, there's not so many wires, but it's tough to do a demonstration when I've got that stuff going on. So right above my head is a little box here that I've been using for a while. Let me slide over. So this is I want to do this in a way that I don't disconnect it. This is an MFJ SDR receiver multi-coupler, and it allows me to have multiple receivers connected. You know what? I should just hide the chat for a second. It allows me to have one or two antennas on the input and multiple output BNCs, because remember, we're not transmitting with shortwave receivers. We're just listening, and that makes things pretty handy for doing shortwave listening. And that's actually how I have it wired up right now, because I have both my SDR play and then I have a random lead that I will connect to for doing different things with the radios we're going to be looking at today. Oh, and the chat's gone. Tactical Malort in the background there. I can't touch that stuff. Question in the chat about loops. Yeah, absolutely. There are a great many receiver loops that you can use. There are ones that are adjustable loops, and there's super cool options in loop. In fact, receive loop antennas do a really good job on the receive side of the house. It's the transmit side that makes them so high Q and narrow. Somebody mentioned SWLing and the crazy. Where is it? Oh, I missed it. I wanted to say, oh, is that it? No, that's not it. What happened to that chat? I built a fan dipole. Oh, there you go. JP in Tucson says, I built a fan dipole specifically cut for shortwave listening frequencies back in the early 90s and installed it on the long attic of an apartment building I lived in. It worked well. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great way to go. Anyway, SWLing recently talked about a radio receiver that is it's a software-defined radio, but it's a portable unit, and he pointed us all to it. I believe it's like, is it Russian? I know it's euros. They sell them on a blog. I bought one. It didn't come in time. I really wanted to show you all, but I definitely bought one. So yeah, I get affected by radio procurement syndrome as much as you do. GC asks, what about a discone? Discones work well. Discones are usually better for scanning, so the higher frequency stuff. We're talking about shortwave, which is the lower end. You generally do pretty well with a long wire. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna flip it over. We're gonna take a look at. Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna show you how I connect these to this little device, and then we'll do a little bit of fun with the SDR. Okay. So you've seen this radio many times. This is my C Crane Skywave. Now, I'm just going to demonstrate this because it's obviously going to be bad, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it on with the radial, or sorry, the aerial extended. And let's go to okay. So we can't hear WWV at all. By the way, commit this frequency to memory. This is the time system out of Colorado that we use, and there's just nothing there. So what I've done, and let me back this up a little bit so you can see it. So here's my receiver box that splits out the antennas, and I've got a lead going to coax that comes out. I'm knocking over radios. And then I've got two plugs. So if I connect that, and let me make sure we're on the right. We're moving antennas right now. Okay. Oh, see what happens? I dropped it. And we are picking up WWV. So that's the first thing I wanted to show, is basically how I'm doing the antenna. Okay, next. Let's turn this off. Something that I do with most radios as far as shortwave listening is I'll connect up the antenna and I'll do a scan. In fact, I'm gonna go back to this guy and I'm gonna switch the antennas though. There's a reason for that. So we're gonna go back into shortwave. Come on. There we go. Really good signal there. So I'm going to turn off of the step IR, and I'm going to go to my long wire antenna. A bit noisier, and we're going to do a scan. So generally what I do is I'll get my, wherever I'm going, again, I kind of play hide and seek with the radio. I'm not necessarily pulling up a guide, for whatever's live at the time, although I will show you that on the web here in a little bit. I generally just pull out the radio, get the antenna set up, and I just start listening. I just want to pull all the things out, and you can see it's pulling in. We're on page 1, and it's found 3 channels so far. And that's down in the 80 meter portion of the ham radio space. And you'll see it. It'll start going up as we go. It'll start pulling out more channels. Or channels is the wrong word, frequencies. So it stopped at 5K. 5K is WWV. So we've already got that. I also have a bit of a nit. I'm going to talk about a radio I don't recommend you buy. And it's on this table. So we're pulling out more. And this is kind of a I won't call it cheating because, it's in the radio for a reason. But I definitely scan a lot to pull out the frequencies. In fact, I'll come back over here so you can see me until it's done. I do a lot of scanning for this reason. I like to turn the scan on and just do its thing. By the way, a lot of ham radios don't do necessarily a great job at scanning. Some are better than others. And the advantage, though, with the shortwave radios is that they generally have a scan function that ports it into a page that's like temporary memory. So wherever you go to a new area, and it just, boom, hit that scan, walk away, go unpack your luggage or whatever, do whatever it is you do, and come back over, and then you can kind of scroll through and see what's going on. We do know, obviously, that when you are doing shortwave listening, just like ham radio, there's a day-night cycle. Shortwave listening is usually a little bit better at night, so keep that in mind too. Yeah, lots of good comments coming in. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I really appreciate it. Reminder, you've got 15 minutes to get into the contest. The link is on the chat. The contest is over on Discord. And there are, how many people we got in here now? There are 520 people that are in the giveaway right now, so that's awesome. And I'll send you a free radio. That's the wrong one. There it is. But yeah, go buy some t-shirts. amtactical.com. Appreciate it. Wow, it's still going. We're on 2 pages and 8 channels. And it's going to scroll through the whole bands. Now, some radios are better scanners than others, and I will show an example of the radio I'm giving away. I've got an extra one, a sealed one that I'll send to the winner. But I kept one for myself, and there's a reason for it. Yeah, 774 people. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'm having a little fun with shortwave listening. Now, I do have to be really careful here because I am not trying to get a copyright strike. There is often music that's on shortwave. It's broadcast. So if it's a music station, I'm just going to quickly go to the next station so I don't get a strike. But yeah, you understand why. Wow, 3 page. We're actually picking up a lot. That long wire is a recent setup. I changed its orientation, and I like it. I like it a lot. It's not great for transmitting just because of the orientation. I don't get out very far, but it does really well on the receive side. Steven. Was that Steven? Yeah, Steven Walters with the gear acquisition. It's indeed a problem. Scout75, enjoy a second beer on me. Thank you very much. Just went back to keto, so no beer on my menu. Have to have Coors Light instead. And that's not even beer. We don't really count that as beer. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care what you enjoy. I just don't drink that stuff. What wire antenna do you recommend for a radio of like the Skywave? What wire antenna do you recommend? So, great question, and I apologize. I'm going to actually pull it up while we're talking, while we're waiting. We're still waiting on the scan to finish. The C-Crane comes with a wire winder antenna, and I really like it. It's a long... Oh, we just finished. We can go over that in a second. Let me show you. They sell this. It actually comes with the Skywave. It's $15. It's the best one of these in the market, and I've tried quite a few of them, and they're mostly pretty bad. This one is like the best one, but it's still not great. This does a good job, though. For $15, you basically have to have a long wire to be successful. But again, you got to get it outside. If you're not going to get it outside, then you need to have something like an end-fed half-wave or a fan dipole or a vertical kind of. I'll show you why that may not be a great idea. But that may be your only option, and so we just have to go with that. So, okay, we've got memories loaded into the radio right now, and we're going to take a listen to some of them. There's a question. You just select giveaway and stay there. No, you got to click the red party horn. Click the little red party horn under the giveaway. It's like an emoji. All right. So the basic way you control this. Ah! My freaking ears! Wait. Yeah, this is not helping. Okay, so we're back to... Let me go back here. All right, so 2410. Ah! I got to figure out a better solution for this. Looks like Spanish radio. And there is WWV again. That's the 5 megahertz. Yeah, so giveaway, everybody in the giveaway chat. It looks like a pizza slice, but it's a party horn. That's some kind of classical music. Some stations are not as good as others. This station always comes in really loud. It's a Christian religious station. A lot of that in the United States. I'm not going to spend much time on this. I just wanted to show you what the process was. Yeah, okay, you get the idea. Now, the long wire antenna, do I have this? Is this powered up correctly? Ooh, what's going on? Okay, let me flip this over here. In fact, let me show you. I'm juggling a couple of power leads to make this all work, so. All right, so we had those frequencies that we were picking up. So I'm going to use the vertical that's outside. I've got it connected here on this lead. It's going to get connected to this guy here. Let's see if we can pick up any of the same. So that's WWV is in there, but not great. Yeah, so again, if I switch it back, let me go back to WV. You got some splatter. So let's switch. And I gotta move the power back. Not quite set up for an A-B comparison. Not great. We had it better. I don't know what was the deal with that. Jeffrey Sentex. Great question. Why does the Seacrane not have an antenna port? I think it should. I think by and large because this is a traveling radio, a portable radio, you're not really going to do that. All right. Before we switch over to the SDR and show you how to go track down some fun stations, I am going to show you one radio I do not recommend you buy. I bought it on a whim, and I should not have done that. As much as I like this little guy for listening to like FM and AM, by the way, this is the one I'm giving away. It's the one behind it, actually, in the box. But I bought the Eaton Traveler on a whim, and this is not a good radio. I mean, it's fine, but it's not really effective. It doesn't do shortwave, and it really is for its world clock, which is something that is kind of a novelty these days. It's not that interesting or compelling to have a world clock these days. If you look at it, it's kind of antiquated with its design, and it doesn't perform very well. I'm not trying to throw a bunch of shade at Eaton, but I just bought it and I'm not that happy with it. G. Mitchell, thank you for the super chat. Just starting back into ham radio after 45 years of studying for my technician's license. After 45 years off studying for my technician license. Right on. Congratulations on getting back in. It works great as a clock, like a world clock, because I can change this to Los Angeles. And, you know, that's accurate. Wait, is that accurate? Yes, that is accurate. Right? Yeah. Okay. But aside from that, I don't know why you wouldn't just get one of these. Actually, I know why. This is $175 and this is $55. But if you wanted something that's better and about the same price, it's the Texan 380. Does a much better job. Way better job. It does have a pleather case that's kind of nice, but whatever. Couple of other ones I would recommend over both of those is the GP5 single sideband. This is a copy of a 10 Tech, so if you go with the 10 Tech, that's fine too. This one does single sideband and is under $100. I believe it's $80. This is sold by, it's a Meritac radio, but it's sold by CountyCom online. CountyCom. It's okay. I did a review on this. Go watch this video if you want to know my thoughts. It doesn't have a dial. It doesn't have a keypad. So you got to do the dial to move. And even though it's zombie green, it's not very handy. Okay, last thing I'll mention is this guy. Just turn on, bud. So I use it because I like classical music, and it picks up my station I like a lot. So that's the reason I use it. But let me go down to shortwave here. I'm trying to... Come on. Okay. See, that's the problem with this is I have to go through all this to get down to 5K. Let's see if I can do... See if I can get the WWV. It is in there. That's funny. There it is. I don't know if you can hear that. It's barely in there. I'm holding it, so that's messing with it, but it does work. What else? I have reviewed the ICOM R30. It is a fantastic radio, but very expensive, and does way more than shortwave listening. But okay, I've literally done reviews on almost all these radios, so if you're more interested, I will post the links in the description so you can follow along with that. But what I want to do right now is I want to show you SDRs. So let's flip her over here. Okay. To do that, since you're in front of a computer, one of the things I recommend, and we're 1 minute from the giveaway, maybe, the giveaway thing got kind of buggered. There's a couple of websites, hfradio.org. This will give you a listing at any one time of radios that are transmitting. Fantastic website, although I really like this guy. This guy. Is it this guy? It's this guy. This website's cool, Shortwave.am. So check this out. And we got to check on the giveaway here in a couple of minutes. So this will give you, based off of your geographic location, what it thinks stations you can hear. And so we're going to test this out. We're going to test this out with my SDR. And we're about to do the giveaway, so let me pull this up. I don't know if it's going to work. Oh, it will work. 5 minutes. Okay, good. So basically what I do is go in here, refresh, and let it get access to your location, otherwise it isn't going to work. And then you do estimated signal, and you hit now. And it'll populate all the frequencies that it thinks you can hear. Like, we got some big frequencies coming in. And it'll color code them based off of whether you can actually listen to them or not. We're going to test it, and I'm going to show you how we do that in a second. Are we still at 5 minutes? It didn't pick. Oh, I guess I got 5 minutes. Okay. So let me flip over the antenna. And I'll get it down to 40 meters while we wait. Let me reposition some things. Hey, thank you from Southern Shaves Man. Thank you, Josh. I just passed my Tech in General test today. Thanks for your videos and ham study. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. Very good. So we're looking at, let's go here. Where did the chat go? There it is. So this is just a whole jumble of stuff. This is my SDR play that I have connected, and we do have 40, and we're still on that antenna, so we should be good. So let's see if we can hear this. Why can we not hear it? Why, dog? It was working before. SDR Play sometimes, or SDR Uno, works great when you're not live streaming, but it seems to get all buggered when you go live. I don't know why. So let's try this again. Ta-da! It's broke. It was literally working. It was literally working before the stream. You know what you can always count on is something not working. And today is no exception. It is not working. It is working, but not working? Is it squelch? No? It's just not outputting, is it? That's working. Is it from when you turn down the echo? No, because the sound, the theme song still plays. It's strictly this stuff. This app sometimes is kind of buggered. It's not that. Got it. Okay. Why it did that, I don't know. Alright, let me get off of the religious stuff for a second. Let me drop the volume down. Did we find a giveaway winner yet? 1 minute, 45 seconds to enter the giveaway. Alright, so let's grab one of the frequencies that we can probably hear. Let's see. I want something that is going to be World of Radio, 7780. Let's go with that one. There's something in there. So yes. $57 seconds for the contest. We got 628 people in right now. Let me go ahead and pull that up. We'll get a winner live. And I'll open my second beer. Who's going to win? Yeah, I feel 10 meter up the coast does pretty well. This is in reply to the Facebook user. Sorry, Facebook doesn't cross over on the chat room correctly right now on the server for the live chat. Don't know why that is. Oh, I just noticed it's Black Velvet. That's the name of this. Black Velvet. All right, 3 seconds. Chappie AG, congratulations. You won the Eaton Elite Mini Compact AM FM shortwave receiver. And I would put it in that order of how good it is. AM's pretty good, FM's fine, and shortwave's not that great. All right, let's go back over here and we'll find another. What else? We got North America, Eastern North America. A lot of Adventist World Radio. So let's try and pull that one up, 9395. Not there. Not hearing them. But there is a signal that's right next door. So let's zoom in. And it's in the noise. But this is one of those fun things, is we went there looking for a particular signal, couldn't hear it, so now we're just going to poke around a little bit. James K., thank you for the super chat. Chappie said draw again. Okay. Do we have an admin in the house? Do we have an admin in the house that can rerun the numbers? Loyal? We'll handle that in the after chat. By the way, everybody that signed up, you're in. You're in. Don't worry about it. So if you follow the after chat, if you follow us over there, we'll rerun it if Chappie is kidding. I don't know. I'll message him after the show and we'll figure it out. I'll message Chappie after. Don't freak out, Chappie. I'm not going to give it away if you want it. So let's open this up a bit. So this is medium wave. This is all AM stuff, so I'm not going to stay here very long, but you can see this massive station is 640. It's always super...
Paid off the $33,000 worth of credit.
Really loud. That's not shortwave, though. All right, here we go. Seven 305. Okay, so 7435 is a really loud signal. Let's see where that's at. 7435. Seven 435 is could be wrong. Let me refresh this and see who's on that frequency right now. 7435. There's not even anybody listed. Okay. Let's flip it over to this guy and see if he's got 7435. No. Where is 7435? So that's interesting. Sometimes you hear things that, don't even exist. Well, that's south. That may be down in Mexico or South America. this is why these are so good. The SDRs is that you can literally just poke around wherever you want and listen to whatever you find interesting. There we go. Okay, so 6030. We gotta find one. I don't want to rap until I find one. 6030. Not there. No. So this must all be local stuff. Nope, not that one. Nope, I don't want that one. What a bummer. We're gonna find one of these, I promise. That is a great big signal, but it's like...
And the rest of the folks that come that are just kind of learning that I call...
Okay, there we go.
Wheels of faith still on the mechanism of...
Okay, 5935. We're going to figure this one out. We're going to get one. 5935. 5935, Dr. Gene Scott. So here's the play of this one.
Eager expectation what the Lord might...
Yeah, it's Christian. Most of the stations that you hear in the United States are going to have a Christian aspect to them.
Tonight a call to service, a call to those people who have...
I don't want to listen too long and get myself in trouble. Let's see. Actually, let's hop off of here. There we go. Let's use that website again, actually, and find something interesting. So back to the web here. What is it saying? I asked it to show me all the estimated signals. Maybe we killed it. Let's do not any station. Strongest signals. Let's do that now. Did I kill this website? What happened? Is everybody using this website right now? Is there that many people using this website right now? We crashed it. Did we just crash a website live? We've got 750 people. It was like peak 800. Did we just kill the website? Oh, man. That's funny. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, don't blame me, guys. Don't blame me. And it's gone. Press F to pay respects to the website, guys. Press F. Oh, that's hilarious. I'm gonna get a message. Why did you send your goons? I'm just trying to use your website, bro. Thank you for F. Appreciate the F. Oh no. Oh no. We killed the website. Okay. Let's see. Let's swap out of there. Horrible. Just horrible. Just horrible. Okay. Let's do, where's worldwide? All right, New Orleans. Let's go. I'm still kind of yeah, I didn't even think, I guess I'm at the point now where there's kind of enough people that I could dump on one website and just be like, oops, my bad. I didn't mean to do that. I apologize. Dwight T, thank you for the super chat, bud. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, some of these radio websites are literally holding themselves together with like baling wire and twine. So yeah. So now I am on hfradio.org. if you want to go blow that one up. Although I'm not meaning to. So let's go to 7. I'm gonna try for 7355 WRNO worldwide. What is that? Did I already lose it? 7335. That sounds fantastic. BBC Worldwide. Let's hit up BBC Worldwide. 6195. It's barely in there. I'm gonna get real chancy and try and get Radio Malaysia on 7295. Oh, it's in there. But there's a neighbor next door. It's loud. Let's see.
About, one denomination, and I won't mention the name. They got rid of all the blood songs out of their hymnal.
Okay. That's FT8.
The government they got now is more devastating than going against Iraq caused more damage to Iraq.
So I'm literally just clicking around. That's all you have to do with an SDR. It's fantastic. I would argue for the SDR play. In fact, I think one of the slides got screwed up, and I want to go back to that for a second before I wrap for the evening. Let me hop off this frequency so I don't get myself in trouble. Did it get there? Yeah, I don't know why this didn't make it, but let me present this. I got to show you this before I wrap. I know I'm going to get questions on RTL SDR dongles. I really do like them, but oh, and it's gone. Great. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, the thing I wanted to say about the RTL SDR dongles before I wrap the show for tonight, and thank you everybody for coming out. They're to get the best performance on shortwave and HF radio, you've got to use something called an up converter. And after you pay for an up converter and you do all the stuff that goes into getting the dongle work to do direct sampling, you've kind of already bought an SDR Play RSP1A, and arguably it's a lot better because you get access to SDR Uno software to really have a lot of fun with it. SDR Uno software is a little crazy right now in my desktop, but works really, really well. So that's what I would say for that. I really do like that. Yeah, guys, that's about it. I really hope that you join us on the after chat. It would be a lot of fun. We can talk ham radio or we can talk shortwave listening, whatever. But this obviously is the ham radio crash course. So if we want to talk about ham radio, that's all part of the thing we're doing here. I'm trying, as always, right? The reason why I do these is I love radio, and I love it when people enjoy radio, and I don't want it to ever go away. And so that's why I do it. That's why I continue to have fun with it. I have a blast doing these. I have a blast talking to you. I really thank you all for watching. I really mean that. Going back to the thing with the ARRL award, I'm just really honored, and I really appreciate it. And the messages I get from you all are just amazing. And I just, thanks is all I can say. I really do appreciate everything that you message me, ask questions, even if you're just asking help, and I do answer a lot of you. I try to answer everybody. Really do appreciate it. But I do want to say a big thank you to the people who really helped me out and helped the channel out, the patrons. Thank you very much to Patreon. This was your episode today. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun doing it. So all of the producers, here's the names of all the producers as we roll through here. These are the guys that voted for this. So if you don't like this, go talk to Dennis, right? He's one of the producer level patrons. And I appreciate all of you. Thanks so much. Evan, thank you so much for the work you do as an admin. Rob Zarges, also a part of the Long Island CW Club, a teacher. So many of these people are deeply. There's Oof Radio. Thank you, Michael. There's so many people that are Good Game Ham Radio. The names just go on and on and on. A lot of people that you either watch on YouTube or are involved in Long Island CW Club or the Ham Radio Crash Course. So many people, just thank you so much. I appreciate it. You go way beyond helping me out with the channel, but you're also helping out Ham Radio, which you deserve a standing ovation. So here, let me stand up for all the patrons. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, Thank you everybody too in the chat. I really appreciate all the kind words and comments. It's a blast. I mean, the only reason I do it is because it's fun and I really like it, and you guys keep showing up. So I'll keep doing it if you guys keep coming out. Well, I'll probably do it if you don't come out, because that's where I started, right? Like everybody else on YouTube, we all started with no views, right? Mike N8YO, good comment, says that the SDR Play is a 12-bit ADC, which is an audio digital converter. If I recall correctly, it's either 12 or 14, which leads to better dynamic range. You are 100% accurate. The SDR Play is the way to go, I think. It is absolutely the best solution for using SDRs and getting started with them. $100, I know it's more than you'd pay for a handheld, like, a box that you'd put on a desk and play with. Everybody loves that, but you really get a lot of control out of it. Again, like let me. So we're all those peaks are signals, radio signals, right? So that's ham radio. There's a contest going on. By the way, let's dive into that really quick, because I can't get a copyright strike on that. So I'm zooming in. Look at that. So there's a CW contest going on. Let's flip it. I just changed the mode to CW. That's what I did. That's too fast for me. That's too fast for me. That's even faster. I need a slow contest. I need a 15 words per minute contest. Yeah, it's too fast. I can't. But like, this is an example of just the awesome stuff you can do with SDR. So I always try to remember or recommend it to people. And most of the videos I do where I go to a computer or something and I show what I'm hearing, it's using something like an SDR Play. Let me drop this down a little bit. I'm just having fun doing this right now. Oh. Oh. Okay, we're gonna find out what this one is. No, is that Spanish? Yeah, it's Spanish. 7435. Did that website come back? The website's still dead. Never mind. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to blow up your website. That was ham radio. By the way, I can flip it over to hams lower, and we can go to 40. And so this is all the CW stuff that we were just looking at. This is FT8. It's always the lighthouse in whatever band you're on. You see the 15-second break, the 15-second chunk, and then it stops. 15 seconds stops. 15 seconds stops. Here's single sideband.
smoke. Isn't that big bear out there right above San Benito Valley there, over?
Big Bear, that's where my dad lives. And we can't hear the other side. All right, enough fun. Let's go over to the after chat. Hey, everybody, I super appreciate you watching. I really do. Thank you for carving out a bit of your time every weekend to talk with me about radios. This is obviously not a ham radio video, really, but having fun with receivers is always an interesting thing you should be doing and thinking about. Like I said, I got my start in radio. I got my start with shortwave, not CB, like a lot of people do. Nothing wrong with either way, but that was me. That was my exposure to radio. And so I just love kind of hunting around on the bands for whatever interesting stuff I can find out there. So yeah, I hope I shared some of that with you, so you'll find it interesting and maybe go enjoy that for yourself. All right, I am Josh, KI6NAZ. Thank you so much for watching the Ham Radio Crash Course. Until I talk to you again, 73s. What are y'all doing still watching? You should go be joining the Discord. Thanks again, everybody.